Quote that I love, and it's a Buddhist proverb, and it goes, "When the student is ready, the master appears." And I have to say, I never quite exactly grasped the meaning of this saying until this past weekend. When I was at the Daily Love workshop over the weekend, I met so many amazing women that were engaging and interesting and smart and intelligent, and I kept hearing the name Gabby Bernstein. And I had heard it before and I couldn't remember where, and I kept racking my brain trying to figure out why. And I came home and I was like looking through my bookshelves and wondering, where did I hear that name before? And I couldn't remember. And on the bottom of a pile of books, I saw that I actually owned one of her books. It's Add More Ing to Your Life by Gabby Bernstein. And this is a book that I got at the bookstore last summer for $1. It's just a really fantastic used bookstore that I go to. And I liked the cover. I was like, that she's in New York. She's cute. I want to hear the hip guide to happiness. So it was a book that I bought and never got around to reading. Clearly, I wasn't ready to live the examined life and start seeking for answers. So I didn't ever think about it again. And it's fascinating because I was going through the worst time in my life for the last 6 months, and it was challenging, it was difficult. I was at a loss. I didn't know what to do. And little did I know that this beautiful, beautiful book taught from A Course in Miracles was sitting in my house the whole entire time. But clearly I was not ready to be the student because my master hadn't appeared. I really want to tell you about this beautiful step that she has for forgiving. And she has all of these amazing ideas, but I just want to go through with like 2 or 3 of my favorite that I just have come across in beginning the book, and as I go forward and learn more, I will continue to tell you everything I'm learning. But this is a very simple story that outlines the way that power, compassion can have a way that we change the way that we see the world. So it's short, so stick with me. All right. A rabbi and his disciple were walking in the street. A man drove by in a fancy carriage and pushed the rabbi out of his way into a ditch. The rabbi yelled after the rich merchant, "May you have everything you want." The disciple asked him, "Rabbi, why did you say that to a man with such horrible behavior?" The rabbi replied, "Because a happy man wouldn't throw a rabbi into a ditch." And the thing is that she's really speaking about the fact that when people are mean to you or hurt you in a way that seems insensitive or as if they're just discarding your feelings, mirror compassion at them. And the thing about that is that when you recognize this behavior in other people and they're not treating you the way that you feel that you deserve, they're coming from a place of their own pain and anger that they clearly are grappling with. Because if you're a happy individual and people are innocent in your life and they're just trying to be there and they're trying to show up for you in different ways, and time again you treat them in a discarding way, whether you're moody, you snap at them, you're impatient, you have a lack of regard for their feelings, don't reflect their behavior with behavior that is mean back at them, because it's only going to hurt your soul. If you can rise above it and show compassion in a way that makes it clear that you can recognize that you're not being treated well. You don't have to be a doormat. But if you're living from a place of ing, as she says, which I'm only just beginning to embrace what the word means and how you use it in your life, you're not going to stoop down to that level. So another idea that I'm really excited about is based on Marianne Williamson, A Course in Miracles. And Gabby uses this idea a lot, and she constructs it in a new way that's amazing. And I'm especially excited because tonight I'm going to Marianne's seminar, which I've never been to before. I only just found out about these on Saturday. But here's how it works. The Course teaches that when the opportunities to learn are over, the relationship will be replaced by something better and new opportunities for learning. So there's times when you're dating someone and the relationship dies, or you're not getting anything else out of it, and it just feels dead. It feels over. You're not stimulated by one another. There's no joy left. You're not having fun. It's not lighthearted. You may continue to see that person because you feel obligated, or they didn't do anything wrong, but something doesn't feel right of reasons. But that's the worst thing is when you know something shifted and it's not the same that it used to be. And you look back and you remember how wonderful it was and you think, where did it go wrong? But maybe it didn't go wrong. Maybe the lessons just didn't remain, and you're in a new place where you're supposed to either be by yourself and continue to grow and learn on your own time, or perhaps there's someone else that you're meant to be with. And that's the really interesting thing, is that when you're in a relationship and you're growing and you're changing, it can be really hard if you're not feeling like you can be the same person that you were in the beginning of the relationship. But we're so afraid sometimes to be alone that we stick in those relationships that we know that we've outgrown, because we don't know if that other person that we jive or click with will come along. But we know that we're not happy and that it doesn't feel right, but that can be confusing because the other person might not have done anything wrong. So those are times when you really have to trust your instinct and trust your heart and act from a place where the future is uncertain, but you have to have a belief and trust that it'll work out. And that's called knowing, which is something else that Gabby gets into, which I'll explain in a different video because I'm just learning it myself. Blocks. You spend a lot of time worrying about things like whether you'll get a job or whether your date from last Friday night will call you back. But do you ever worry about something like, say, whether a magnet will attract iron or if the needle on a compass will move? Hell no. You don't, because your worries are reserved for the areas of life that you have no faith in. Well, if you have faith in the energy that orbits the planets around the sun, why can't you have faith that your energy will help you get a job? The same energy that moves the planets is also moving inside of you. You've just denied its capabilities. Now that you realize that this energy is inside of you, it's time to learn how to use it for good as opposed to what you've been unknowingly using it for. Because, unbeknownst to you, you have been using this energy, just not to your advantage. As a result, your unfocused use of this energy has been attracting unfocused outcomes. It's also blocked you from receiving what you want. All right. What I absolutely love about this is that once you have those desires and needs that you want, or perhaps there's a job opportunity that you had and you went on the interview, and then for days after, you're just, wow, did I get it? Did I get it? Why aren't they calling? What's happening? It's uncertainty and it's not confidence, and it's not coming from a place of self-esteem that this is where I'm meant to be. Because if you truly put your trust in the universe and you have a faith that can overcome all of these little moments of insecurities that you're placed with and that you put into your mind, you're going to work and behave and exist from a place of peace. This whole other way of adding ing to your life and working from a different place is brand new to me. And that's why if people are curious about this and you want to know more, but it's hard to figure out exactly where to begin, I hope the little bits and pieces that I'm learning along the way can help you, because I'm just grabbing nuggets of things that I'm reading and wanting to share them. But this is just a couple of quotes from a, how long of a book? 217 pages, and pretty much every page has something insightful. So I really recommend ing. I want to add more to it as I read more and tell you more about what I'm learning, but I just absolutely had to share my story of this being in my apartment for the last 6 months and not figuring it out until last Saturday. I bought it, totally forgot about it, didn't read it, and it really would have helped earlier, but I wasn't ready for those lessons earlier, which is why the opportunity to read it didn't present itself. So another little force of nature that I believe happens when you're open and you're aware and you're more in line with yourself and in touch with what the universe has for you. So thanks for watching, guys, and definitely comment or leave messages if you have any questions, and you can go to addmoreing.com if you want to read more about Gabby. Thanks, guys.